Kenya ni ngumu, utajua haujui. This is one of the statements that you might hear in Kenya regarding the political dynamics. And I'm here this morning to challenge our complacency, our belief that Kenya will not change. And this has come as a result of yesterday's reflection on why 2010 Constitution is very good on paper but very different in practice. There is a belief that Kenya will not change, and this is because of the repeat of certain things in the nation for so many years that we are going around the same cycles. Like the children of Israel went around Mount Horeb for 40 years, and yet Canaan was next door. The land of milk and honey was next door. It is not like Kenyans don't know what good governance would look like. It's not like Kenyans don't wish for a better Kenya, but we seem to be caught up in a cycle. And I think this is what needs to be broken before 2027. Something needs to be broken. The cycle needs to be broken so that we cross over to the other side. Instead of going around this mountain year after year, election cycle after election cycle, we need to break the cycle, cross over, move forward. But this will require us to name the cycle before we break it. So I want to give an acronym for cycle. How do you know you're in a cycle of politics like Kenya, or a cycle in life? One of the ways to know that you're in a cycle is through the acronym of the word cycle itself. C for complacency. Whenever you feel you are complacent about a situation, you have resigned before your time for retirement has come. That is one of the ways of pinpointing we are in a cycle. A lot of Kenyans are very complacent. They don't say anything. They will not confront the government. They are just quiet. They are not quiet because things are going well. It's just an issue of complacency. Why yearning without action? We are yearning for a better government. We are yearning for a corrupt-free nation. We are yearning for a nation that's not driven by tribalism, but we are not taking action to address tribalism. So why for yearning without action? C is compromise of values. And it's very clear. We sing the national anthem, "Justice be our shield and defender." But as a nation, we have compromised our values. Our value for human life, our value for the youth. We have compromised our values. So how do you know we are in a cycle? I'm just pointing it out so that we understand as Kenyans that we are in a cycle that needs to be broken. Like the children of Israel had to break that cycle of going around Mount Horeb but not going anywhere. This is the sad story. Sometimes we are busy doing things or moving, but we actually have not made any move. This is the sad reality of our nation, that it's time for us to make progress. We have a progressive 2010 Constitution. It's time we make progress, and we cannot afford to say Kenya ni ngumu, utajua haujui. Kenya haitawahi kubadilika. We seem to have a language that is very, very sad. L for land helplessness. Land helplessness. And as I said, we feel helpless about the situation. What is the point of voting? And they will steal the votes. They will compromise the IEBC. What is the point of mobilizing when the game has been set? I think this is learned helplessness. We must break that cycle. We have a big number of young people. If all these Gen Zs registered for voting, plus the millennials, we have a group that would even total possibly, we are looking at a strong of even 27 million. I'm looking at Gen Zs being about 18 million of them. If let's say even 14 million of them voted, we would be talking of a different game. So a protest must move to mobilization. Our protest must not only be active online, we must look at ways of turning things around in our nation. What can we do to break the cycle? So we cannot break it just by prayer. We must move from just talking to action to break the cycle of helplessness. We feel helpless about the situation, but what can we do about it? Then E for entrenched power cartels. These are the same people, as I said yesterday, schooled under the same headmaster, and they know better. They don't know any better than the old method of politics, which was single party system. We need people who are schooled in the 2010 Constitution who can give us a new way of doing politics. And this will require change. For us to experience change, we must again use the acronym for change to explain how change can happen to our nation. C for courage to confront. And this is what the Gen Zs are doing. They are confronting, and it's unfortunate that there are quite a number that have lost their lives as they confront the government regarding extrajudicial killings, regarding accounting for the public resources, regarding the various promises that were made that are not being fulfilled. So we must have courage to challenge or courage to confront. And this is enshrined in our 2010 Constitution. We must have courage to confront. So H is hope restored. This story ati Kenya haitawahi kubadilika, Kenya inaweza badilika. Kama Singapore ilibadilika, they moved from being a slum country to skyscrapers. Even Kenya can change. We can have good governance. We can have good leaders who are not thieves, who are not stealing, who are not liars, who are not this and the other. I'm talking about a system that needs a shift, and it ought to have changed. Why have we not changed from 2010? We ought to have changed. We ought to have restored hope. Hope restored. And active participation. We must be active citizens. We have been too passive. Active participation. We cannot afford to just sit there and be spectators. Gor Mahia playing against the FC Leopards. We need to remove our suits. We need to dirty our hands, and like Obama, we need to fold our sleeves and get our hands dirty. We cannot continue to say politics is a dirty game. We cannot continue to say that this and the other, because if we don't participate, we don't become active citizens, we will continue to suffer. So we must be A for active citizens, N for new narratives. And this is what I love about the Gen Zs. They are tribeless, they are leaderless, and all that. We need a new narrative of good governance, a new story. A Kenya not built on tribe and hatred or corruption. A Kenya built on our ideals, on our prophetic destiny, as a nation that is earmarked to bring a shift in the continent of Africa. Kenya is earmarked to be a springboard of revival. Kenya is earmarked to be a safe house, a city of refuge. We provide the continent and the world with good leaders. So we need to change our narrative, and we need to have people who are nationalistic in their thinking. So N for new narrative, for a narrative that is new. G for generational vision. Part of the frustration of the young people who are there is that we have educated them, but we are not passing the baton to them. We are not preparing them for the future leadership. And yet Kenya is a youthful nation. The median age of Kenya is 20 years. So, hey, we need to make sure that we have a generation of vision. The 2030 vision needs not to just be in paper. And by the way, 2030 will be soon. We need to have a vision that is 50 years. How do we want Kenya to look 50 years from now? How do we want Kenya to look 50 years from now? What are we putting in place? Like we are taking debts, we are stealing left, right, and center. What inheritance are we going to leave our children? A broken system or a fixed system? What are we going to leave our children? Because a wise man leaves inheritance for his children. What are we going to leave our children? Hatred. What are we going to leave our children? Corruption and tribalism. Is that what we want to leave our children? Empowered movements. We need watchdogs to keep us accountable. Empowered movements. So, for empowered movements. So, for change to take place, as I've used these acronyms, I think it's important for us to come to that place of saying, are we serious about breaking the cycle? So if we are serious about breaking the cycle, what we are simply saying is that we need change. Come rain, come sunshine. The Lord bless you as we arise from our hopelessness and helplessness. Who knows whether God has raised us for such a time like this? Let us not dismiss the Gen Zs and say, what are you, how are you? Let us join to break from the cycle, move forward, move north, not go south, go to our land of milk and honey. God bless you. This is Simon Karaoke coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. Bye-bye. God bless. Bye.